Another mass shooting, 4th of July. A gunman on a rooftop opened fire. Here's some of the video. Let's put up a picture full mass of the alleged monster who did this, okay? We got some background, some new insight, new information to share with you that has now become public, known to the public. Independence Day parade, suburban Chicago on Monday. This mass shooting killed at least 6 people, wounded at least 30, sending hundreds of marchers, parents with strollers and children fleeing in horror. The person you see, his name is Robert E. Crimo III, they call him Bobby. He was the shooter, according to the report, who decided to commit to that level of carnage against innocent citizens. He was taken in alive. He was not killed, he was not shot. He was previously, according to the report, an aspiring rapper who made a music video that invoked imagery of school shootings. A music video. His father had previously ran for Highland Park mayor, where this happened, in 2018. So you have a politically involved family. Republican State Senator Darren Bailey out of Illinois had this to say after the shooting.
Getting ready for the Independence Day parade, and it was canceled. Unfortunately, about 20 minutes away from here in Highland Park, there was a shooting. There were several people that we know have been shot. That's all we know. And we're just going to take a moment and pray for the families. Friends, let's pray for the law enforcement and even the organizers of this parade. They've done an amazing job. There's a lot of confusion and frustration that the parade's being canceled, but they did the right thing because people's safety has got to come first. The shooter is still at large, so let's pray for justice to prevail. And then let's move on and let's celebrate the independence of this nation. We know the mission. We have got to get corruption and evil out of our government, and we have got to elect men and women of honor and of courage to get this country and this state back on track.
You just totally dismissed the fact that you need to get guns out of the hands of mass shooters, but you did offer thoughts and prayers. Put up his picture. Darren Bailey, real piece of work here. All right, Mr. Bailey, let me remind you that July 4th is not a celebration of freedom. It's truly not even a celebration of independence. It's a celebration of an experiment known as America. The white men who founded this nation did not believe in the principles of democracy. Remember, when this nation was founded, when the Declaration of Independence away from the rule of Great Britain was established, Black folks were owned by rich white men. Women of all races could not participate. Black folks obviously could not participate in the democracy. Guess what? Most white people could not participate in the democracy because initially, in order to run for office or even vote, you had to be a white man who owned property in the country. There's more. In contrast, Governor J.B. Pritzker, Democrat, spoke out in favor of more gun control. The quote is, if you're angry today, I'm here to tell you, be angry. I'm furious. I'm furious that yet more innocent lives were taken by gun violence. And I'm furious that their loved ones are forever broken by what took place today. I'm furious that children and their families have been traumatized. I'm furious that this is happening in communities all across Illinois and America. I'm furious because it does not have to be this way. And yet, we as a nation, well, we continue to allow this to happen. There's a quote from the mayor of that city where this mass shooting took place. It has been underreported. The mayor came out and said, listen, I don't have a lot of details, but here's the one detail I do have. The weapon the shooter used was legally obtained, all right? That has not been independently verified. by law enforcement, according to the information I have thus far, but the mayor did come out and say that. There was another shooting over the weekend that happened in Philly, all right? 2 police officers were shot near Philadelphia's Benjamin Franklin Parkway as thousands attended a 4th of July concert and fireworks show Monday night, leading to crowds scattering from the scene. The shooting happened just after 9:45 p.m. Monday in the 2500 block of Spring Garden as the fireworks display was still underway. A $20,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to the arrest of the armed suspect who wounded 2 cops during that 4th of July celebration. Here's a scene of the crowd fleeing. So sad, because all of this tragedy will not equate to good policy and good legislation from our elected representatives. It simply will not. Adrienne, thoughts on this?
Well, what I would say is that we definitely, without question, have an issue with guns, something we know without a doubt. The thing that really kind of struck me this weekend, particularly with the Highland Park shooting, is that there were people saying this doesn't happen here. Why? Why is it happening here? This shouldn't happen here. You know, when you're looking at that suburban area, the median household income is about $150,000. And also, it's almost 90% white. And what that is kind of signaling to me is the thought that this isn't where Black people live. So that's a gun problem, that's their problem. This isn't our problem. And the reality is no, it's very much a white America problem, especially when we look at the demographics of those who are committing these mass shootings with no attachment whatsoever to the people involved, but just want to rage on people and use their access to firearms to create these mass murder situations. And so really, when you have these pockets of white America not realizing that this is not only something that happens in their backyard, but often in their own homes, and they can be the ones to stop it and be available for it, that's when there's actually going to be some change. But until they stop thinking that it's an anomaly when it happens to them, there's going to be no change whatsoever.
Very well said.